I did not know anything about Malcolm X until I heard in the 80s about Malcolm X. I think maybe I heard the name somewhere when I was in school, but I really didn't hear the name Malcolm X until I heard Malcolm X being spoken of by Louis Farrakhan in the early 80s. And when Louis Farrakhan in the early 80s was talking about Malcolm X, it was very negative. Malcolm was a hypocrite. Malcolm was a traitor. Malcolm is a man worthy of death and all this other stuff. So I decided to do my own research. Even though I was following, I was never a follower of Louis Farrakhan. I was looking to be a follower of Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad died in 1975, so it was impossible for me to actually follow Elijah Muhammad. I never knew who Louis Farrakhan was until the 1980s, and he made a promise, or he was saying that he was bringing back the teachings of Elijah Muhammad, of which he did not do. That's a different topic, but he did not do that. So I'm not a follower. I never was a follower of Louis Farrakhan. I joined to become a helper of Louis Farrakhan to bring back the original teachings of Elijah Muhammad. A helper, not a follower. So being a helper, I still maintain my own ability to think for myself. And so when he began to speak ill of this man, who is Malcolm X? I decided I wanted to do my own research on Malcolm. And when I began to research the history of this man Malcolm X, I listened to the story of Malcolm and the story presented by the Nation of Islam. And I began to side with Malcolm X. I began to see myself, even to this day, there are things in Malcolm X that I see in myself. I know for a fact that if I was in the same place as Malcolm, I probably would have done the same thing. That's why I have a connection to this man, Malcolm X. But even so, I want to talk about a part of that which caused his demise. This is my belief. It's not a fact because I don't know. I did not know Malcolm. When Malcolm was murdered, I was 2 years old, so I don't know Malcolm. I feel as though I have a connection with Malcolm. When I was 18 years old, I stood. Somebody told me when Malcolm was shot down, and I stood in that spot, and I could imagine. See, I have always had a good imagination. That's why I know when I hear y'all talking all this spirituality and religious stuff, I know fiction. I know fantasy. I know when something comes from your imagination, it's not real. But I use my imagination to try to feel what happened on that day that Malcolm was murdered. I'm trying to get a feel, even right now, the mindset of a Malcolm X. And I wonder why Malcolm, coming from where he come from, Malcolm came from a criminal place. Malcolm was not afraid to die. He was not afraid of nothing like that. He was not afraid of guns and violence. He came from that place. Why would he get up on a rostrum and and allowed so easily to be murdered. So this is my theory. I don't know. This is my theory. This is just something, my opinion. I don't know. But it is in my belief, my opinion, that Malcolm decided to die. He decided to die. These Negroes shot him, but he decided to die. Because he no longer, first of all, he no longer wanted to live hiding around and living in basically, not in fear, but with these suckers chasing him like that. But the main reason why he allowed himself to be killed, to protect his wife and his children. That's why I believe Malcolm sacrificed himself. Because clearly, the enemy that was trying to kill him, they did not give a damn about his wife and children. There was a scene in Scarface, the movie Scarface with Al Pacino, and you know they put that bomb under this guy's car, but they didn't know his wife and children would be in the car. And even Scarface, who is a criminal, mind you, Scarface is a criminal, but he said, I don't kill women and children. Now this is a guy involved in criminal activity, but he still had ethics. I'm not killing women and children. The people that was trying to kill or did kill Malcolm X, they did not give a damn if they killed Sister Betty and the children in the process. Collateral damage. They didn't give a damn. So what does this make them? Malcolm knew this. So Malcolm allowed himself to be murdered. And so, basically what I'm saying here, when you are a warrior, when you are a soldier, the war started almost 500 years ago. When they began to enslave black men and women, the people of soul, when these Europeans, when our enemies began to do that to us, 500 years ago, war was declared. So when you know that you are at war, and you know that there's a good chance you might get killed in war, it makes no sense for you to go out and look for a wife and children. I believe if Malcolm X did not have Sister Betty and those children, he would have treated the whole thing much, much differently because it's all about him. But when a man have a wife and children, then his whole attitude changes because I have to look out. I don't want my wife and my children hurt. It's the same with America. Now, you have Donald Trump screwing around with North Korea. But if Donald Trump knew that by screwing with North Korea, his wife and his children could be killed, he had to look at things a whole way differently. You cannot call yourself a warrior. There are black men and women they call themselves warriors, soldiers, and all this other stuff. Why would you go out and you are at war, creating a family, wife, children, husband, and all that kind of stuff? Now, Sister Betty understood. She understood the situation. Malcolm X himself even said, even the children understood. They didn't want their father to go out like a punk. But at the same time, as a father, Malcolm would want to protect his children and his wife. So, in this struggle for black liberation, liberation of soul people from a vicious enemy, this has been going on almost 500 years. And also it is talked about by Brother Neely Fuller Jr. You should not be reproducing. You should not be having these families. This is the reason why you don't have that vigor. This is the reason why you can't get that fire and that energy that you need to take on this beast once and for all. Because you're worried about your wife and your children, what's going to happen and things of this nature. You should not have had, you should not be reproducing. Why is a slave trying to have a family when the slave master can send you to that plantation, your children to another plantation, rape your wife, send her to another plantation? Why are slaves trying to reproduce and have a family? It does not make no sense. But see, we have been made an unnatural people. You are not in the proper environment. In nature, you have certain creatures. In order for them to reproduce, they must understand and must see there's plenty of food, plenty of water, everything is just right, and then they will lay their eggs, they will reproduce. If they see that there's not enough water, there's not enough whatever they need, they wait, we're going to wait till next season. This is not, you and I, we don't have the sense of a bird. Birds do this. You are at war. You have a people, you are living in an environment of slavery and you reproducing. You can go on Facebook and you have these Negroes talking about their penis and their vaginas and you wonder why you still a slave. You wonder why nobody respects you. You're a clown. Fatherhood has made a punk out of you. And now, in war, you know you're gonna die, but now you have this family. I want to see my grandchildren grow up. I want to see my great-grandchildren. You have that attitude, so you won't fight. You're not willing to die. Malcolm X did not see his grandchildren. He did not see his great-great-grandchildren. Nat Turner, Dr. King. But you're special. You get to see your grandchildren. But at the same time, you still a Negro slave. And you want somebody to respect you. Ain't nobody gonna respect you. You're a punk and you're a coward. Keep playing with your penis. Because that's the only manhood that you know about. Playing with your penis. Then what make it so bad, most times your children don't give a damn about you. You ain't about nothing. They don't have no respect for you. Fatherhood actually makes you weak. Because fatherhood should not be your top priority. How can you be a father? How can you be a good husband to your wife and your children when they see that you're a punk and another man is busting you in your backside? I would rather be dead. So you alive, but your women and your children look at you like you're a punk. And you are a little sissified punk. I would hope that this video is shorter than usual, because the point is simply and easily made. And I mean, it's short. it should not take a long time to really speak on this subject. But for me, I don't know. Who knows? Y'all know who I am. If I'm going to do 15 minutes, I end up usually doing the whole 15 minutes. But here we go. I just buried or went to the funeral of one of my relatives. He was 98 years old at the time of his passing. And I went to view his remains and touch the body, and I mean, it's our last time to be together. So what we're looking at, and the subject that I've chosen for these few minutes, is the topic of death. I want to give you my opinion, my belief, because see, we don't know what that is. So I cannot tell you as a fact. This ministry represents, let us get the facts. Let us deal with the reality. The only reality we know is that we do die. That's a fact. That's reality. What actually that is, from what we see, that's all we can really talk about. We don't know anything about a hereafter. So I cannot tell you about the hereafter. I cannot tell you about an afterlife. I cannot tell you about the transformation of energy. I cannot tell you about all these different things that we imagine, because we don't know. That's why it's the mystery of death. Mystery means unknown. If you know, it's not a mystery. But we do know from our side, from what we see and what we experience, we can talk about that. Anything after that, you cannot talk about. It's some mystery. However, I can assume and I can believe that death is simply the same way we come into life. The only way we knew and began to understand that we were even alive is when your brain matured to the point where you can begin to remember and you can begin to understand the environment that you're in. Then you understand and recognize that something has happened, that you are alive. Our brain is our only connection to the reality of this life. The brain interprets what we hear. The brain interprets what we see. The brain is our connection into this reality. So when you are 6 months old, 3 months old, you don't even know that you're alive. You're functioning, but you don't know that you are alive. Because if that was the case, then you will remember when you were 4 months old. You will remember the delivery when you first came into this life. You will remember all these different things. You don't remember nothing, but you was alive, but you don't know nothing about it. Me personally, I don't really remember too much. I think my memories, I can go as far back as, let's see, maybe 3 or 4 years old. That's the farthest back I can remember. I really don't remember that much. So, the brain is our connection to this life. And when the brain begins to die, when we die, you did not hurt. You did not feel sorrow. You was not even conscious that you was alive. But when the brain begins to die, then we go right back to that state. When the brain begins to die, you begin to lose consciousness. You start to go back into the darkness where you came from out of. We return back to that state of non-existence. When the brain begins to die, you can no longer hear, you can no longer see, you can no longer feel. All that is absent, and it's like going to sleep, unable to dream. When you are alive and when you sleep, you can dream and have nightmares and all like that. But when we die, we go into that sleep. There is no dreams. And we will never wake up to this reality again, because the brain that we need in order to function, to understand this environment, it no longer functions. So that's the closest understanding of death that we really can come to. It's all connected to the functioning of your brain. You have people right now who are in comas. You have people whose brain don't function. They might as well be dead. Without the brain, you might as well be dead. If the brain is not functioning, you might as well be dead. There are people who are in comas. Their brain is not functioning properly. So they might as well, they might as well be dead. But the physical body, the heart is still functioning, lungs, but without your brain, you're done, you're through. Our brain is very important. And even when it comes to all these different thoughts, the afterlife, and all these things that we talk about after we die, if it was not for your thinking, if not for your brain, that would not exist. And oh man, and when you die, you're not going to talk about the afterlife and death or none of that, because the brain is not functioning anymore. So it's over. The brain is the key. So in conclusion with this talk, I want to speak about some of us, and I hear this in the Kemetic community. It's a part of Black scholarship. And we talk about of how we should not fear death because it's just a transitional period and we turn into energy and all like that. I can concur with you. We should not fear death because it's inevitable. It does not make any difference. Whether you fear or you are brave, it does not make any difference. In this reality, you're not going to be here long. So it makes no difference whether you are scared, whether you're brave, whether you care or you don't care. It makes no difference. But it is something that we should not fear. Matter of fact, in some cultures, death is celebrated. So it's not feared. It's not a time to cry. It's a time of celebration. But we want to talk about this energy thing. And we transition. Don't be afraid, because when you die, you'll be transformed into all this energy. Electricity is energy. Yes. But electricity does not have a brain. It is not alive. It's energy. You get energy from a fire, but it's not alive. It has no brain. So when you talk about we will die and we will transform into energy, But you won't have, that could be true. In fact, it is true on many levels. But you will not be conscious, because in order to be conscious, you have to have some type of brain. So you can transform into energy. You won't know nothing. It's over. Because energy has no conscience. Energy does not have to interpret a reality. And energy constantly transforms or transitions from this type of energy into another constantly. It has no brain. Again, electricity is energy. A nuclear bomb is energy. I've never seen a lightning bolt write an essay or write a book. I've never seen a nuclear bomb write a book or do anything, because that's all that it is. It has no conscience. That's what it is. It's energy. So I don't know. So you think that you're going to still be who you are? No, you're not you anymore. You will no longer have conscience. Energy has no conscience. You need some type of a brain to continue to walk the way that y'all talking about after death. There's no evidence of that. I've never seen no form of energy with intelligence. I've seen no form of energy that is actually alive. Energy is not alive like we are. But you're trying to tell the people, and you want us to believe like we will die and we will somehow continue to be who we are. We just transformed into some kind of energy, and that's not how energy works. If it does, please show me some kind of example of energy that is conscious. Energy that has some type of a brain, that can speak, that can talk, and continue, that acts the way that we act in life. Because energy is not alive. Energy does not die. It transforms. Transitions from one form to another. It is recycled. Goes round and round and round. Now for me, I really can't say whether or not it dies or not. Because electricity eventually goes into nothingness. Like all other energies, they burn, they expire. There's nothing in this reality that we know of that does not reflect death. Of course I know, just by the title. Of course I know, just by the title, there are those who will say, you are a racist, you are filled with hate, and all the other nonsense that comes when we critique certain folks. In this case, the folks are the white people of America, or white people in general. I prefer to say the pink people of this planet. See, that's racist. That's racist because I call you pink. So is pink, calling you pink, how does that relate? What history does pink have? Is there a history of murder, discrimination, rape, all these different things, when you call people names, you call people colored and Negro and nigger. But when you say these things, we can also look at rape, murder, lynching, even dropping bombs on the people of whom you are calling names. When I call you pink, it's simply giving you a label other than the one that you want, because you are not white. White in the English language means kosher, pure, clean. You are not white. In fact, nobody called you white. You control the media and you call yourself white. Nobody was calling you white. Paleface, Tubob, devil. Nobody was calling you white. However, white do have a negative connotation because I believe the sickness of leprosy, people take on a color of whiteness when they get this disease. Leprosy, what is it? Your limbs start falling off, whatever. That's, matter of fact, white is associated with death in certain cultures, but since the white man has taken over the world, you've destroyed that view of white and you made it righteous and clean and you call yourself those things. But for the sake of being fair, since you have the right and you have called people names, why can't I call you a name? At least my name. I'm not going to call you white, Caucasian, European, or whatever, but I'm not going to call you white. But I get to call you a name and label you, describe you, just like you have done the rest of humanity on this planet, and place everybody in these racial categories that nobody was in until you appeared. But when somebody want to put you in a category, you have a problem. This is why nobody likes white people. This is why nobody likes pink people. Because you're a bully. That's why in this nation you have a bully problem. Because the children are only mimicking what they see the adults do. They see their great nation bully Iraq, Iran, North Korea, Grenada, any other little nation that's out there, a big bully. And so you have your children, you wonder why do these children bully one another? They are mocking the same behaviors as the adults. And this behavior is passed down from generation to generation until it becomes normal. So I'm not shocked that children bully one another, even to the point where one child will commit suicide. You're a big bully. Nobody is your friend. You give money to Egypt. You give money to Afghanistan. You give money to, Pakistan and whatever these countries. They don't like you. The only reason why they have any type of relation with you is because you give them money. And they don't mind. They know that you are a bully, and they would rather you bully somebody else than mess with them. But nobody likes you. The United Nations, nobody likes you. They want your money, and many of them have a fear of you. When you are somebody's friend, you are not after their money, and you like them genuinely. I can guarantee you this. Let something tragic happen to the United States, and you will see how friendly these people really are. You are a bully. Nobody likes a bully. Bullies are hated. When we can't deal with a bully, we smile in their face and we talk about them behind their back. In the case of this bully, as WikiLeaks has pointed out, this bully even talks behind the back of those of whom supposed to be their friends. The president of Germany, what's that woman's name? Urkel, whatever her name is. But see, she couldn't stay angry at the United States too long because the United States would give her some money, give her some weapons, give her something. You got to give somebody something because nobody likes you. You don't have any real friends. The United States of America has no real friends except Mama, England, and that's questionable. That's questionable. The white people, the Caucasian, the pink people of the world, you are a bully and you don't even like yourself. Oh, you don't even like yourself. Oh, I'm white. I love myself. If you are white and you love yourself, then why do you spend billions of dollars to lay down in a machine to cause your skin to darken? Risking, or you go out in the sun and you want to get dark skin. However, at the same time, you have a problem. You claim you don't like dark skin. You don't like the dark-skinned people of the planet. They are ugly to you. But at the same time, you want to be like them. You spend billions of dollars to thicken up your lips, to put pads in your backside, darken up your skin, the people that you hate, but you're trying to be like the people that you hate. You don't even like yourself. You always cutting your nose, chopping off this, chopping off that. You don't even like yourself. You're a big, confused bully. And you have severe mental issues. Maybe because you suffer from low self-esteem. You might think it's impossible. How could a nation as great as America suffer from low self-esteem? Because they are void of the little things that make you happy. They don't have genuine friendship. And the reason why you don't have genuine friendship is because you are a bully. And it's all about you. Whenever you hear a broadcast, it's all about the Americans. When there is a disaster, the American this and the American that, and the American. It's always about the American. Greedy. You talk about charity, but you only give enough to make it look like you care. You really don't. You give people your scraps. You give people the clothes you don't want. The food you're not going to eat. And you send it to other countries. I'm charitable. Always talking about somebody. As much murder, as many wars you create. Over 300 years of slavery of dark-skinned people in this nation. All types of evil this nation is guilty of. And you should be punished. See, if you was punished, maybe you wouldn't be the way that you are. You need an ass whooping. But since you have not had an ass whooping, just like any other bullies, you get worse. You're arrogant. The idea of success in America is how much material things that you get. So I want to sing, not really because I want people to enjoy my music, but I want to get I want a big house. I want 5 cars. I want people to serve me because I'm God now, and these other peasants are my servants. I'm better than they are. I'm an American. I'm better than the people in South Africa. I'm better than the people in England. I'm better than everybody else. The people in Australia, certainly better than the people in Africa or China or North Korea. I'm better. But you're a thief and you're a liar and you're a deceiver. That's how you made your money. That's how you got your riches. Steal and take and lie. Nobody likes white people. That's what you have done on this planet. And you are proud of that. You call people third world because you have went in, conquered them, made them poor, stole, ripped, and robbed them. Took their gold and diamonds and gave them our Lord Jesus Christ. And they become the third world. Now you the first world and you just got here. How are you the first world? They live in the third world, been around for generations and eons. They are the third world troublemaker. You go into other countries and you start trouble on purpose because it's all about control. I want everybody to be like America. I want the whole world. I want the earth. Matter of fact, let's rename the earth. Let's rename the earth Europe. Let it be the planet of the white people. No, let's pretend nobody else is even on the planet. It's the planet of the white. This is the mentality that you have. And you follow leadership that think this way. All Caucasian people don't think this way. But you have a vast majority who follow this type of leadership. And this is why nobody on this planet, you don't even like yourself. Who likes a greedy, self-righteous, arrogant, liar and manipulator, a murderer? You can't wait to drop a bomb on North Korea. You can't wait to drop a bomb on Iran. You can't wait to drop a bomb somewhere. Destructive. A big bully. So you tell me, so who's going to like this? You don't even like yourself. But maybe you need to take a look in the mirror. The President of the United States and the leadership of Caucasian people around the earth, y'all need to take a look at yourself. Nobody likes you, really. They tolerate you because you pay them to be your friend, and they don't want you to bully on them. That comes from a song, White Man's Heaven is a Black Man's Hell. White Man's Heaven is a Black Man's Hell by Louis Farrakhan. The world is waiting on you to see what the so-called Negro is going to do. Why would anybody wait on a Negro to do anything? That's the question. When you look out in the street and you see the average so-called black man and woman in the street, and you watch how we murder one another and slander and gossip and rape and steal and cheat and lie, the world is waiting on these people. Are you kidding me? Really? To see what the so-called Negro is going to do. Really? We see what the Negro is going to do. This line in this song is not making sense. No, it's not making sense unless you begin to understand the process that the Negro must undertake in order to get to the point where the world is waiting on you to see what the so-called Negro is going to do. Because even as a Negro, even in this low form of human being, oh wow, Woo, let us talk. Let us talk. The world is following us anyway. You are a unique people. We are a unique people. The people of soul, the descendants of slaves born in America. A lot of other dark-skinned people, some of them, well, at least I know one, don't like the fact that I'm always advertising the American so-called Negro. It's because it's about us. It's about us. We were formed in the depths of hell. As Malcolm X described, we are like a diamond in the rough. A diamond starts off, as many of you know, as a piece of coal, but under tremendous pressure, the coal going to hell, then the pressure, that fire, turns that piece of coal, that lump of coal, into a diamond. But when you first see the diamond, it's like the Negro. It's valuable, but it's not polished yet. It's still got a lot of dirt on it. It needs to be cleaned up. You and I represent diamonds in the rough. We have a lot of mud on us. We need to be cleaned up. We need to take the appropriate actions, because this is the appropriate time for you to get cleaned up and shine. The closest example that we had of this was the Nation of Islam. When people began to look in the streets and saw these brothers with the bow ties on and these sisters in their uniforms, looking all crisp and clean, carrying themselves in a modest, humble manner, but upright and proud, high self-esteem. This is what all of us really are once we begin to get the mud and the mire off of us. The purpose of the teachings of Elijah Muhammad was to polish you, get the dirt off, shine you up, cut you, form you, because diamonds are not only a woman's best friend, but diamonds are valuable all over the earth. People die for diamonds. You don't just leave a diamond anywhere. You lock a diamond up. A diamond is rare. Each diamond is unique in and of itself. We are diamonds. You are unique. Even from the time of slavery, you could not just be a slave. You had to be a hip-hop slave. Singing and dancing, said, well, look, I got to be a slave. Might as well make the best of it. So you out in the field and you just singing, and some of us was even dancing. And the slave master did not care about the music of his own people. He brought in the slaves to entertain. Well, of course, the slaves was cheap. You know, it's free entertainment. But you had your own way. You sung with feelings, and that's why they called you spiritual. And the real spirituality is only the emotional connection to life. I'm a slave, but I'm alive. What did Whoopi Goldberg say in The Color Purple? Yeah, I'm black and I'm ugly and all that, but I'm alive. That's all we care about. Prior to being brainwashed by Europeans, we don't care nothing about material things. We don't care nothing about Cadillacs. We don't care nothing about Mercedes-Benz and big houses. I'm just glad to be alive. Look at a natural disaster in East St. Louis. All the Caucasian people running around crying about what they lost. The people of soul taking doors and using those doors as boats and playing in the flood water. That's the kind of people we are. We used to catching hell. So what? I sing in hell. I dance in hell. So when you tell a black man or woman, tell them go to hell, it don't mean nothing to us. We've already been there. We live in it and learn how to sing and dance and praise God and all that in hell. So what? The devil don't even understand it. Wait a minute. You in hell and you're acting this way. What's up with that? Everything we get, we make it our own. Give us a basketball. Can't play it the way you do it. I got to do it my way. Give me a baseball. I can't play it the way. I got to do it my way. Give me a football. I got to do it my way. I got to dance my way. It's something that you have that other people don't have. It's called swag. Being in hell makes you respect life. And we are very lively. In slavery, they say, wow, those people are some very lively people. They don't understand how you could live in hell and be happy. You can't walk like everybody. You can't talk like everybody. You make up a speech off the English language that's all your own. You can't walk. You got to walk a certain way. Carry yourself a certain way. And see, there's something in the Quran. It says that, let me get this right, because it's been a long time. You know, many of you know I'm not religious like that, but I do come from a religious background. It says, you plan, but Allah also plans. And Allah is the best of planners. So you have these crackers, these devils, these wicked people that enslave the people of soul. Their plan was to make you an eternal slave. Little did they know, when they put us in a situation where we have to be 2 times, 3 times, 10 times better in order to have a job. We have to be 10 times better to be recognized for this and recognized for that. You doing this to a people over generations. You making us better. That's why we have to do it our way. Because we are always used to doing things 2 times, 3 times better to prove ourselves. And you pass this down to your children. You have to work 3 times as hard, 4 times as hard. And this goes on for generations and generations. You're trying to hurt a people, but actually you're helping a people become better. For every cloud, there's a silver lining. So in this cloud, you brought this silver. So in music, it used to be called soul music. Anything that comes from us was soul music. And then you had the blue-eyed soul brother. The Caucasian people want to copy you. They want to copy. Here you are, you're a slave. And the slave master giving you the pig feast and guts and all the trash he don't want. And here you are as a slave. We are as a slave. We take the guts and the cornmeal, and our food tastes and look better than anything that's on the slave master's table. And the slave master said, I'll be damned. They eating good. They out in the fields. They working good and happy. I don't understand this. We are a diamond in the rough. So the world is waiting on you. Because you got your swag. You're getting yourself together. You need to get this dirt off of you. Polish ourselves up. The world is waiting on you. Because you and I, we have the knowledge. We have the character. We have everything that is needed in order to show the world how to get out of hell. Because we lived it. They following us anyway. They follow you in basketball, baseball, and in many other disciplines. They will follow you. They will follow us anywhere, including the slave master and his children. Do you hear me? Including the slave master and their children. They like everything that we do. That's why the world, we can turn all this around if you clean yourself up. And that's why the world can't change, because we have not changed. We're still diamonds in the rough. But as soon as you get power, stop trying to be like other people. Stop trying to be Hebrew Israelites and ancient Egyptians. Be yourself. This is the blessing. Y'all talk about you believe in God? God has blessed us. We paid the ultimate price. We suffered the ultimate suffering. And now show the world what your God can do. Even coming up out of hell. Dust yourself off. Be yourself. You're not supposed to be these other people. You are unique. You are valuable in yourself. Get the dirt off. Polish this Negro. And you will be amazed what's under there. And it was always there. You wouldn't let it come out because we have become comfortable in the dirt. We have become comfortable in having no value. That's why we want to be other people to try to give ourselves value. You don't understand the value of yourself.